Hi everyone, I'm Emily Van Hoff. I am here to talk about my very first fabric collection with Moda called Groove. So let's take a look. This is the main print in the collection. As you can see, they're very colorful, abstract, large-scale prints. We have two colorways of this design. We have both the butterscotch background as well as the darker teal. Both of these prints also have a matching stripe. So we have the dark teal background as well as the butterscotch background in the stripe. My background is in graphic design, and my work currently as an artist is making abstract, colorful, quilt-based textile pieces. So this collection is kind of taking a lot of the energy and the colors and the shapes from that work and applying it to a pattern design. Some of the other designs we have are unspooled, which comes in 6 different colorways. We also have the woven design, which comes in 5 colorways. The last of the 45 wide designs is this wavy design, which works great on its own, but you can also cut it apart and use it as a border around your quilts. Last but not least, we have the 108 wide back designs, which comes in 4 different colorways. Got the pink, the green, and then a neutral black and cream as well. We also have several matching solid basics to go with this collection. So those are all of the fabrics. We can also take a look at the quilts and some of the projects that I've made with them as well. The first quilt is this one behind me. As you can see, the large scale of the patterns makes them work very well for a whole cloth quilt situation. So we've got the solid panel in the center, and then you can see that I'm using that wavy border print around the sides as well, which just adds a little bit of size to the quilt as well as some more design and contrast. I love the whole cloth quilt direction, but I also wanted to make sure that the fabrics would work really well when they were cut to a smaller size for a pieced quilt. So you can see in this one over here, I have a variety of sizes of pieces that are all happening at the same time. And I love when you get to the much smaller blocks here, they become just these really lovely color blocked shapes. The more medium-sized pieces add a lot of movement and energy to what would otherwise be a fairly basic, very beginner-friendly quilt. You'll also notice in a lot of these patterns that I have a line that sort of continues throughout the whole design. My thought on that was that you could use that line as a guide for your hand quilting if you enjoy hand quilting. So you can see in this one, I'm just following all along the knots. That kind of takes some of the prep work and the planning out of hand quilting. And that is also where the name of the collection came from. The collection is called Groove. So it's kind of that idea of like, get in the groove, find your groove, just kind of lose track of time while you're working on your project. Obviously, they're also very fun, dancey, groovy fabrics, so it works on that level as well. I've made an assortment of pillows using the fabrics in different ways. I wanted to show both the way that you can do the hand quilting, following the lines. Here is the knotted design that uses a smaller chunk rather than using it in a whole quilt application. It also works very well that way. We've got the wavy border design paired with the unspooled. Also a couple that just show how well the prints all work when they're cut into smaller pieces. One of my biggest inspirations for this collection is that in my own work, I primarily work with solids. And I wanted to create a print that is something that I would be very excited to work with as a solids enthusiast. When I was designing, I wanted the size of each area of color to kind of feel like the size that a piece of fabric would be in a pieced quilt, but you get that just in one large piece of fabric. So that is a selection of the projects I've made with this fabric. You can see more of those on my Instagram, which is at Emily Van Hoff. Otherwise, thank you for checking out my collection with me. Have a lovely day.